Greetings and salutations, good people. I know. Y'all have not heard from us. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen have not been doing our due diligence. We fell short, but it's okay. We back. And we got a special guest with us today. And she's going to help us think clearly and learn about love and all that good stuff. So, you know how I do. Let's start here. If I were at the Apollo Theater and I were introducing you to speak on the big stage to an audience of people, introduce yourself.
Wow. You don't even walk me in a little bit. You didn't even try to court me on my relationship and trying to you just put,
wow.
just put it in. Okay. So anyway, I'm Alex Young, Dr. Alex Young. I'm a clinical doctor.
Put some respect on your name.
Yes. And I'm a clinical psychologist by trade. Profession. Yeah.
I'm a doctor too.
You are?
By Grey's Anatomy, ER, the
Okay,
pit.
all right now. Okay. So that's my background. I'm a clinical psychologist and I practice my name that I go by is LaShawn, but my book name, my author name is Alex Young.
So what do you specialize in?
Adults.
Oh, grown people.
I wanted to do children at one point because I really, I love children. I love working with children. But right now I've been dealing with adults for the most part. Women deal with, I used to work with veterans a lot and addiction. I'm a journalist basically.
Okay. So you can touch a little bit of everybody.
I can touch everything. In clinical psychology, you have your clinical, you have your counseling, and you have other aspects of psychology. But clinical, we can pretty much do anything. That's the people you see in sports psychology, working with the NFL people and all that.
Well, y'all pray by the end of this interview, she don't have me in a white coat.
No.
She doesn't have me in a white coat. So how long have you been on this journey?
Wow. I started in mental health in general.
Yes.
Let's say actually practicing psychology probably over 20 years.
Okay, so you rooted.
I'm very rooted. So actually I'm being modest when I say over 20 years because I was actually a professor.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Y'all better put some respect on her name.
Yeah.
What did you teach?
Psychology.
Oh, clock it. Where were you a professor at?
I was at Tougaloo College.
Okay, Eagles, Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chuck, Silas.
Okay.
All those Bulldogs over there.
Okay.
I am Tougaloo adjacent.
Okay.
Yeah. I go to Tougaloo for their homecoming and their Founders Week.
Okay. That's good. Okay.
I am Tougaloo.
You're doing
adjacent.
better than me. I need to do better because I'm also an alum of Tougaloo as well. So I graduated from there. So.
And where did you do your doctoral program?
I did Jackson State.
Yes. I love Jackson State University.
Yeah. So I've done a little teaching there too, and I taught at a couple of other community colleges in the area, Strayer University. Okay. So I've taught in so many different places. So
this is rooted in you.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back before we get to the book.
Yeah, that's fine.
Where did this love of, because for me, in order to be a therapist, a psychologist, you have to have a baseline love for people or want to at least help people. Because aren't you in the helping business?
Yes.
Or you just like to hear people problems? Because I got a lot of them.
I was kind of thrown into this. This is not something that I decided for myself. No. I actually, you trying to go all the way back? How far you back you want to go?
What did you want to be? What did you?
I wanted to be an artist, interior decorator, architect.
So you are very creative.
Yes.
That's where the book came from.
Maybe so, probably. That's part of it.
I'm shrinking to shrink, y'all.
Yeah. That's fine. Maybe I need some shrinking. What are you talking about? Yeah. So I started all the way back, and when I was in college, I only applied to one college because I really didn't want to go to a traditional college. I wanted to go to a fashion school in Atlanta.
Okay.
And, fashion school or whatever, art school, you do different things. You touch on a lot of different things. So I only applied to one college. I got into Tougaloo, and from there, I didn't even know what I wanted to do.
You just went.
So
how did you decide that this was going to be psychology was going to be your major?
I met this teacher. She was a little different and kind of inspired me to really understand what psychology is. And then we got into Black psychology and why African Americans do the things they do and why we do the things that we do and why people act the way they act and how this is affecting our psychology. So that was really the root of it, to really understand. It was like a combination of history, understanding your history and understanding who we are. Like, we don't become who we are until we know where we came from.
Okay.
It's like intergenerational. And so if you don't have that understanding, you'll continue to make the same mistake over and over. So that was like it was really deep. You're looking at me like, really? Ain't me for you go that deep?
No, I was ready. I was ready because
really ready.
I was ready. Alex Roots, I was ready.
So it went really deep that way. So while I was at Tougaloo, I think at that time, one of the first books that we had to read as part of our, let's say, for freshmen, like freshman orientation is the Miseducation of the Negro.
Okay, I read that book.
Yes.
Shout out to my professors at the I Love Jackson State University. I read the Miseducation of the Negro, and we had a detailed discussion in class.
Yeah.
And me and my now frat brother, we were not frat brother and sister at the time. You would have thought that we were arguing in a court of law the way we was going back and forth.
Was he a Tougalooan?
No. I'm not going to say your name because I don't like you like that. But he graduated from the I Love Jackson State University. Okay. And we took it in undergrad. And I think that class had some undergrads and grads in it together at the same time. And I think maybe he was in the grad program and I was in the undergrad. But we bumped heads about a lot of stuff. We had to agree to disagree on a lot of stuff.
Yeah. It's a good conversation to have, and it's good to be able to agree to disagree on that book. It's just so many layers to it, and you really need to read other books too to go with that. You know,
what would you suggest?
I read so many. Okay. For psychology, I read Even the Rat Was Black, Even the Rat Was White. That's what it was. I read a couple by Naeem Akbar, Chains and Images of Psychological Slavery.
Because most people think they read the 48, I ain't going to say it, and they become a different person.
No, I mean, it's sometimes when you read something and you're first exposed to it, it's like your eyes are open. Mm-hmm. And when your eyes are first open, you can become very passionate about something. I almost said angered, but passionate about certain things that happen because you didn't have an understanding of it at first. But once you begin to read more and to live more, you don't necessarily blame everything on one group of people because your understanding has broadened. And I think that's what, I don't want to get that deep. What Malcolm X was at the end of his, when he, as the more he became educated in and outside of the books and outside of the group that he was in, then he began to understand that people are just people, and we are socialized to do certain things based on what we're taught by other people. We have to learn for ourselves, and because it's a lot. It's a lot. So it's when you go to a higher level of living, the lower level of living is when you harbor hate in your heart. Mm-hmm. But when you get to a higher level of understanding, you understand that love is the way that you need to be operating in as human beings.
Okay, so I'm glad you segued into love because that's a lot of what I went down a rabbit hole. I was looking at your page. You talked a lot about love.
Yeah.
Love for others, love for self, love with your walk with God.
Right.
So when did love play a part in you writing these books? Did you was it a love for writing? Was it a a calling from God? Did you feel like it was just placed on your heart, or was it that you needed to inform?
I think it was a combination of all of that. Okay. And I think the way you worded it pretty nicely. Yeah, it was really but the first book, let me talk about the first book, Healing to Prosperity, actually came out of an experience.
Okay, what was that experience?
Well, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back a little bit farther. Before that, I knew that I was supposed to be writing a book, because I had wrote, you know how, I don't know if you journal, when you write things down and you say what you want to do and what you should be doing.
Yes.
So it was like 10 years earlier when I had written down that I'm going to I wanted to work as a professor.
Okay.
That was 10 years before it actually happened.
Before so you were manifesting it.
It happened, yeah. It's like in the Bible, it says, write the vision, make it plain. And you just go back and look at it. But I really wasn't in my word then, so I didn't know that really worked. It just works anyway, because our words are power. So our words are power. So our words are power. We are the way, when you read in Genesis, when God created the world, he spoke it. And so he made us in his image. So we were made in his image. When he said man and female, not man in his image mean female and male.
Yes.
Both of us. And so if we're made in his image, our words have the same power, what we say, whether it's good or bad. Mm-hmm. You know how people say self-fulfilling prophecy in the world, but it actually does happen when you think on bad things all the time. It's in psychology like that too. We teach this. We do that in therapy too. By the way, yeah.
So you're a practicing therapist.
Yes.
You taking clients?
No, I'm not taking clients.
I was trying to get y'all some help, people. I was trying.
Not right now. I might soon be taking clients, but I'll let you know, because hopefully this won't be our last interaction.
Yes,
I had to put that plug in. Yeah. So I wasn't going to let that go.
Yes. Yeah. So so you said love.
Okay.
What is love for you?
And that's a complicated question, because for me, I've been talking about it for a while.
Yes.
But I now have an understanding that God is love. And the things that represent the characteristics of him is what love is. And the more I begin to read in his word and understand his word, I begin to understand what love's supposed to look like. Because what I thought love was not love.
Like it. So
in the first book, you got to read the first book.
Okay.
Healing to Prosperity. That's been what happened now. Yeah.
Okay, let's go there. Let's go there.
So Healing to Prosperity is and I don't want to give away the ending and what happens and everything, but I'm going to give you. So when you talk about Healing to Prosperity, I believe that book was given to me to write by my Heavenly Father. Okay. And the reason being is because I actually went through an experience, and during that time, after that experience that I went through, there was a lot of healing that I had to go through. So it was a trauma that I experienced. So that book actually deals with trauma, and I thought the book was supposed to just focus on women, but I've gifted it to men, and I've spoken to men who read it, and they read like the first few pages and they start crying. Okay, this is emotional. Yeah, so it's pretty emotional. So it's like the first one is like a workbook. So it's like you read the story, and the young lady is telling a story about her life, and then it asks you questions at the end of each chapter.
So it's interactive.
It's very interactive. And so I've had people, kind of share their testimony, after reading the book, and it was like, wow, this is heavy, because it's a taboo subject when we talk about any type of trauma, any type of domestic violence, any type of intimate partner violence, any type of molestation, any type of abuse. And, a lot of times we want to, I'm just writing because I'm a female, I'm writing from a female perspective, but I didn't think
the male.
Yes.
But you know, as Black people, we're always taught what goes on in this house stays in this house. Like, I'm not gonna say every family. I know of families, including my own, that have that child molester in their family. That y'all have known this for years, that he has touched the kids in his family, and nobody steps up to protect the kids. So you're building trauma. And then, like, some of my cousins, I look at them and I know that they have trauma bonds.
Yes.
They have trauma bonds. And it took me a long time to see that and to get clarity on that. I was like, they trauma bonded together because of the experiences that all of us experience.
Yeah.
And I'm an advocate for therapy. Yes. Therapy saved my life. Like, I don't believe in, someone told me once that therapy, you don't need therapy. You got the Bible, and everything you need is in that Bible. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
I need to talk to somebody.
That's right. I agree with that.
I need to talk to somebody. Yeah. I need to process through this, and I don't need to do it over a margarita with my friend.
No.
I need to really digest and someone to help me break this down. So when I was getting ready to seek therapy, I ain't gonna lie, the first couple of times I bullshitted. I just went in there and I wasted my time, their time, and the money. And then once I really took it seriously and did the work, because I tell people all the time, if you're not honest, it's a couple of people in the world you got to be honest with. Yourself first. That was me knowing that I needed help. I had to be very honest with my therapist because they can clock bullshit. Your doctor.
Yes. We can.
And whoever you are intimate with. If you're not honest with nobody else, you need to be honest with those four.
That's right.
And my therapist, I interviewed, when I took therapy serious, I interviewed around for a therapist like it was a relationship. I just didn't, I knew I wanted somebody who looked like me, because I needed someone who could draw inference from me. But that also came from a traumatic experience with a therapist.
Right.
A psychologist.
Yes.
I said the wrong thing in the session, and she was a white lady. And she didn't understand, like, in our
cultural differences.
Yes. And
and that is, and see, that's the problem when you don't take in consideration cultural aspects, especially when somebody say, well, I was talking to my dad, family member.
Yes.
They're going to say they put down hallucinations. She probably put down hallucinations. She put down
hallucination for me, and they were ready to lock your girl up on the 72-hour hold.
Or if you say something like, I feel like I don't want to be here anymore.
I said, so at the beginning of the session, because it was close to around the time, I've had a lot of my close friends pass. So in the beginning of the session, I said I could just hear him talking to me. So that's when I found out she had checked that I was hallucinating. So the part where I went into the 72-hour, I was like, I am so tired. I was like, I could just close my eyes and see him. And she was like I was suicidal. And I was like, no, I ain't trying to off myself. First of all, I can't even afford to be dead. You know how much funerals cost? I can't even afford to die, like if I wanted to. But she actually was almost finna have me on the 72-hour because a man walked in the session. And when I saw him walking,
the man walked in the session to come put you in.
I guess he was supposed to be her assistant or student. And so they whispered something to each other. He walked back out, then he came back in. And you know how you can tell
something's wrong.
Yeah, I was like,
I said the wrong thing.
I'm going to have to fight in here. If they try, baby, and I just paid my rent. Oh, no, I'm going to enjoy the rest of this month. Like, you is not going to lock me up. And that's when I knew that I needed a therapist who could draw inference from Black experience and then from being a woman. So, because at one time I had a Black male therapist and a Black female therapist. Because I had went through a traumatic breakup.
Okay.
And shout out to you, because look at me now. I went through a really bad breakup. and it really brought back some childhood trauma.
Right.
And so I needed it, and I wanted to do a couple at first, but then I was like, I don't think I want to do that. I need them separate but equal. So it worked out for me.
Yeah.
So I am pro therapy. I grew up in a household that supported therapy.
That's good.
My first ever therapy session was probably, I was 12, 13 years old. And it just grew from there. And I fired a therapist when I was 16.
Okay.
Because she kept breastfeeding in my session.
I can't deal. I can't. No, she was not.
I swear to God, she would breastfeed her baby in the middle of our therapy session. And I was like 15, turning 16. I did not transition well into teenagehood.
It was a distraction.
And I used to be like,
it was a distraction. Yeah.
Why is we doing this? And so, yeah.
FYI, we're not against breastfeeding.
I'm not. I did it 3 times.
I think that's one of the best ways that you can have a healthy child.
Yeah.
We're not saying, over in this country, it's not as normalized, though, for people to breastfeed, but that may be a little.
But it wasn't like she covered the little homie up.
She just
like,
whipped it out. Okay.
So I'm traumatized from
she
my
didn't
therapist.
Even cover it up
No.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, yeah, Ma, I don't want to see this. Like, you gonna have to pick somebody else. Oh, my life is a Tubi movie.
I thought I've heard it all. I've never heard.
Yes, my life is a. When I say I am thoroughly convinced that my archangels in heaven, I am their entertainment, because the things that happen to me would only happen to me.
Okay.
Like, I told my therapist that, and my therapist was like, oh, no, that's not this, that, and the and I went to telling her some stories. She was like, wait, what? I said, yeah, I'm not making this up. If you think I'm lying, I could call somebody to verify this.
Yeah.
I was on a date, and his lights got cut off.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
And I was standing outside with a flashlight on my phone, helping them turn the lights back on. Okay. Don't judge.
Not, like, stuff like that.
The things, yeah.
That don't surprise me. Right
so the love I had for people, I had to love me.
Yeah, you gotta love you first, but you gotta understand how to love you in the first place.
Expand.
That's what I'm about to.
Okay, expand, because you hit me there.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times we don't know how to love ourselves, and I kind of touched on a little bit on one of the segments on my Instagram, and it's like we allow our families to define who we are and how we should accept love into our lives in terms of relationships, in terms of family relationships, but we don't really. For me, I didn't really understand how I should be loved, so I was accepting of things that were unacceptable.
So are there some baseline qualifications of what loving yourself looks like?
I had to learn how to love myself once I understood who I was in Christ and who I was, how God defined me for my faith. And it didn't just happen overnight, and it's still an ongoing process. Because for me to say, oh, I know who I am 100% and I know everything about love, I'll be lying. And you can stop the interview right there and hope the lightning don't strike, because I don't know everything about love. But what I do is, the more I understand the Creator, the more I understand the Creator, the person or the God is my Creator, the more I understand myself. So, that's just the perspective I'm coming from. I'm not trying to come in and preach, but that's where I'm coming from in terms of.
But that's your truth, and I'm 100% on that's speaking your truth.
That's my truth. 100%.
Okay, so we're gonna pause,
reset,
and get it rocking and rolling again. Okay, so did you have a specific person or community in mind when you wrote this book?
The Healing to Prosperity book, yes, I did. I was actually focusing on women. But you didn't write it knowing that it would help. It would cross over. Right.
And be unisex, because it's helping a little bit of everybody.
I didn't know that it would help, because I was really focused on women. Actually, at the same time when I was writing the book, that was back in 2018, I think, when I published that one. set up a foundation called the Sarah Foundation to focus on, it's SERAH, to focus on women and children abuse.
Okay.
Because a lot of times when there's abuse in the home, the women are running away with the children. But as I continued in therapy and counseling, I believe it was God showing me that, no, this is not just for women, this is for men too. Because I started to have men open up more and more about certain abuses that they went through. And even in intimate partner violence, when men would experience when the woman was very violent.
Yes.
They just weren't taught.
And we don't talk about that.
Yeah, we weren't taught. They weren't taught to hit women. But the women were very manipulative, very violent, very.
And that was somebody taught them that.
Somebody taught them that, the women who were being abusive to the men, but we don't talk about that part.
No, because men's supposed to be a man. You're not supposed to tell that, your woman will beat you.
Yeah.
Like, we joke. I know I make, like, the joke all the time, like, don't hit me unless you want to say your prayers to Jesus in person. I make the joke all the time. But I'm a firm believer in don't nobody hit nobody.
Right.
Don't hit me.
Yeah.
And I ain't going to hit you.
Right.
And if we get to the point where we about to hit each other, let's walk away.
That's right.
Let's walk away. Because something not right. Something not right. So my next question is, do you think your book is relevant to anyone who's per se not necessarily walking in line with walking and with their, they're not as anointed right now and walking with Christ? Or do you think this will lead them there?
This the first book, I would say all of the books is for anybody who want to read it. You can pick up and read it. I'm trying to think. When Christ was walking the earth, he didn't keep company with perfect people. See, people who are not sick don't need to go to the hospital. And wherever Jesus went and walked, when you read throughout the New Testament, anytime anybody asked for healing, he healed them. He
didn't give them a questionnaire.
And
asked them, what's your income, your median income?
Right. And and like the woman at the well.
Yes.
He knew that he said something about her husband, and she said, I have no husband. He said, you speak the truth. I'm paraphrasing, so you go back and read.
You got to, because
I'm paraphrasing. So,
yes.
So you and he said you actually have 4 husbands or several husbands, and he
was
told
talking
her
to me.
Yeah, he told her go back and sin no more. And she said you must be a prophet. And he said, I think she noticed that he told her who she was, but he didn't point out her sins, but he was very gentle and compassionate towards her. So what he is modeling for us is love. Because what he showed her the whole time was compassion and love. He didn't say, you're going to go to hell if you don't stop, da-da-da-da-da. He didn't.
He's not as judgmental as us.
He didn't come to condemn, but he came to save.
Yeah.
And I'm paraphrasing again. That's in the word, too. But a lot of times we're taught, we're not taught. We go to church on Sunday, and we get the quick message.
That quick feeling.
The
endorphins kick in.
And we want to target a group of people to quote unquote condemn, but we don't have the power to condemn. But we can guide them in the right way, in the way that Jesus did. And I'm trying to get my words down.
We don't see a lot of that though right now.
Yeah, the people that I've had like the most testimonies from, like people who had a 180 change in their life, that completely changed in their life, is that they were approached by people who were true followers of Christ, true believers, who didn't judge them, but invited them to church, was friendly and nice to them, without pretense. They were actually authentic. And when you turn your life over to Christ anyway, you want to change on your own. So the things that you're doing that are not within His will, you're gonna change anyway, because you wanna please God. You ain't trying to please man no more. So it don't really matter. You don't have to give them a list of things that they shouldn't have to do because it's going to come as they study. Organically. It's going to come. Yeah.
So for me, and I tell people this is me and my truth. Okay. I went through a very, I'm gonna say, churchy phase where I was like, believe it or not, I was at church. I was in the ministries, and I think that did not help my walk. Yeah. Because once I saw the inner workings of certain churches and saw how judgmental and how nasty these so-called Christians were. Right. And these the same people, because I'll never forget, I'm not going to say the church name. I was going to be in the church choir. And you had to audition to be in this church's choir. And I was going to be in this church's choir. And I throw parties and events. I be in a club, not clubbing, but I'm, throwing parties. Right. I'm doing events. I'm with my friends. We this is how we make our living. Do you know that she said that, well, if you want to sing in this choir, you're going to have to give that worldly stuff up. And so she said, I don't want to see or hear about you being at the club at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And so, forgive my language. I said, well, if your ass is in bed, how would you know? And I just...
Okay.
I just knew. Like, how you gonna know?
It's sort of like when the men said they condemn a woman who works at a strip club.
Yes.
But they said, well, no, you don't want to... they look at her funny when she come to church the next day because they saw her at the strip club. But what were you doing at the strip club?
What were you doing at the strip club? Let's talk about it. So, I have a friend who's a dancer.
I'm just saying, what were you doing at the strip? You wouldn't have never seen her.
You would see a lot of.
So you wouldn't have seen her in the first place, but
if you weren't there.
Let me go back. Because we can go so many different ways. Because it's easier for us to look at what other people are doing wrong, but what we should be doing is examining what we're doing ourselves wrong. So you might not be in a strip club, or you might not be prostituting your body, but you might be on the phone gossiping all the time.
So what makes yours less than mine?
Well, it is a bit difference between sin against your body and sin outside your body. That is, but that's not the point that I'm trying to make. That was a bad example. So, but at the same time, you might be lusting for a man. Say, oh, if I could just get him in the bed one night. You doing the same thing. You might not be physically doing it, but you still wrong. So you need to examine yourself. Like, take the log out of your eye before you trying to take, the toothpick out of somebody else's eye.
You better say that.
Because that happens a lot. So you have a lot of people who say they're Christians, but they don't really walk.
They don't model.
They don't walk it. It's like more of a Pharisee type of thing, where the Pharisees condemn Jesus Christ because he wasn't doing things the way that they were used to, like a tradition. So it was a tradition and a standard. And so those were the people who were condemning and wanting to kill Jesus. Even after he raised Lazarus from the dead, they were saying they were trying to kill him. They were trying to kill Paul. All the good things, all the things that Jesus did, they killed. They thought they killed, but he raised. He was God in the flesh. He came back on the third day. But people are wicked. The heart is wicked above all. It's deceitful. You think, just trust me. Don't trust yourself, because you will lie to yourself all the time. So I kind of went all the way there. But
they need to hear it. They need to hear it, because a lot of people, even some of the people who watch the podcast, we had a discussion once where we were talking about, like, if we hit the lottery for, I think it was 500 million or something like that, and would you give 10% to the church, and if not, why? And that unlocked a lot of, I didn't realize so many people had so much church hurt.
Yeah.
And church trauma that had happened to them. And like a couple of them, I was like, baby, you need therapy.
Yeah.
I was like, you need a hug. Do I need to come?
And you need the Holy Spirit so you can have discernment. So you need to ask God for discernment so you can know where to go and where not to go to worship. Because I think I could probably 9 out of 10 people probably have had experiences where they went to church And sometimes you have to really be, because money is spiritual. And when you give your money to certain things, you might not be giving it to what you thinking you giving it to. So you have to ask God, should I be giving to this particular organization?
Yeah, because I think it was 50 million.
But that's not the point.
I'm saying that was the amount that brought up the conversation. Okay. It was like 50 million.
Okay.
Would you give, if you hit the lottery for 500 million, would you give 50 million to the church? And that's where the conversation came from. And it uncovered a lot for a lot of people. Like me personally, I said no. Yeah, I was like,
and it depends on if they're doing the work. And if they're doing the work, and that's the thing. How many people? It's a lot of deception in the world, and sometimes people, when you go to church, we have different. Sometimes people have altars behind what they're presenting. Mm-hmm. That's a whole nother subject. Like they're having, that's wickedness everywhere. So sometimes you're presenting that you're preaching the doctrine of Christ, but you're not. You might change a little bit here and there, but the Bible says anything that you change a little bit is the doctrine of a demon. And sometimes people are practicing witchcraft
and don't know it,
or sometimes they are practicing witchcraft and do know it, and you're giving money to the altar and you don't even know that what you're giving to. That's why you need the Holy Spirit and discernment to know who to give to, what to give to, how much to give to. You as God above all things. With that. And that's something that, for me, I have to check myself like, God, is this what you want me to do? And that's what the relationship, reading the word is how you build that understanding and that level of discernment. And you ask for it. He'll give it to you. You ask for it.
So the first book.
Okay, Healing to Prosperity.
Then we transitioned to.
So I did Love Revealed.
I like that name. I ain't read the book, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I ain't read the book.
Yeah.
What is Love Revealed?
So Love Revealed. Revealed. Well, each title, I don't believe I came up. I know that I didn't come up with it myself.
So how did we come to Love Revealed?
I believe that was another book that was given to me, because each time that I wrote a book, like the first one, it was, I can never say that word, like what they say in psychology, cathartic, like you've actually experiencing it. It's like I'm learning something through it. So if I go back and read any of my books, which I rarely do.
Okay.
I don't really go back. When I read Healing to Prosperity, I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I need to go back and read that. It's almost like I'm reading
from another perspective.
Like another person wrote it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Okay. That's how it is. So when Love Revealed came about, that's when I was trying to figure out love.
Love for self?
Love, period. I was in
okay.
a relationship, but I was in a loveless relationship at the time. And
been there, done
and that book was so hard to write, because I believe that when I was going through the process of writing that book, God was trying to show me that's not love. This is what love is. So
you actually healed through the process of writing that book, or some version of healing?
It's a version, because when you talk about healing is like you have different layers. You have an onion, and you know how you peel back one layer and you feel better. Peel back another layer, and it's like, you know how when you went in therapy and you say, oh, okay, I didn't know that. And you thought you're okay till you're triggered.
Yeah.
Then you okay, I got to deal with that trigger. Then the next year or so, you get into a situation and you triggered again. You thought you thought you were healed. You were to a certain degree, but it's like, it's the process. It's not a linear.
So it's healing. Should we say I'm healing versus I'm healed?
It's a process. I'm healing.
Because I still feel like a lot of childhood trauma, I'm still in the healing. I don't think it's I will be healed.
Right.
I think I'm steadily healing.
Yeah. I believe that, and I could be wrong on this. For me, there may be, from what I'm seeing, for me, there are different parts of the healing journey. Like some aspects of it, I may be healed from it, and then I might not even know about the healing until I'm presented in the situation.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
It
It's not gonna be
depends.
personal.
Yeah, sure.
So when people say, "What does healing look like?"
Okay.
What do you say? How do you answer that question? When someone say, "We'll use it in the aspect of love," what does healing in love look like?
That's a really good and hard question. And I think it depends on the individual too, you know. Because I was going to touch on another point, like being whole.
Yes. Healing, for me, healing and whole,
They're different.
they're not the same.
They're not the same.
So most people think like once you're whole, you're healed.
No, that's
You
not
fixed.
the same. And some people would tell you, and they'll speak this into your life, and don't accept this when they speak this into your life. When you get out of a bad situation, that okay, you need to be completely healed before anybody else
Before you enter another relationship.
But if God sends that relationship, maybe He may be using different aspects of the relationship to show you something different that you didn't see that you maybe need healing from. Some things you can't heal just in a vacuum by yourself. So I'm glad you said that healing and being whole is different. But I think people feel like I think what people should better say, you need to be whole before. And I just this was funny that we're talking about this, because the sermon that they had at church today was about that. And I was like, this is what I was talking about. It's kind of, I think we kind of, I don't know if I touched on this in the first book or whatever, but it's like the more I learn about who God is, the more I learn about who I am. And so with that, I understand, I identify who I am by how He identifies me. Like I'm beautifully and wonderfully made. And the different things that He says who we are, especially in Ephesians, who He says who we are, as His creation. And so that's how I define who I am now versus how other people define me. It was something someone was saying to me. It was I was in a relationship with a person who was the N-word.
I like how she said that.
The N-word. But anyway, they were saying something, and then at this time my relationship was getting closer and closer and to the Lord, and I heard the Holy Spirit was like, no, that's not it. You're this. I heard it was like a still small voice say, no, this is what you're saying, something, affirmation to me. And it was like really, because, we're not taught to, we call it intuition in the secular world, but that's really your inner voice, because God is always.
So that feeling that you get within
when you feel like
something in the pit of your stomach.
Yes.
Like some say, don't turn left, turn right.
Right, exactly. Thank you.
So that most people would see it, intuition. You think that's you saying that's really the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
So okay, so someone asked me. Well, I asked one time on Facebook. I asked, "What does God sound like to you?"
Yeah.
And some people was like, well, He don't have a sound. He just has a feeling. And I was like, well, He got a sound to me, because it kind of sound like Samuel Jackson, Bernie Mac mixed together.
I can't deal with you.
I'm so serious. Like
it's different for different people.
Yeah, because
He speaks to people in different ways.
I asked for discernment, and that was you gotta be careful what you ask for.
I asked for pruning. I was praying for pruning recently, to prune away everything that was bad in my life.
And did people start falling off?
Well, that was already happening anyway.
Because once you start changing, my therapist said once I learned accountability and you no longer could manipulate me, friendships, relationships, things started to fall off.
Yeah.
Because I was reading more, I was listening more and talking less. And I set boundaries.
Yes.
I think once I started to set boundaries, I think that's when change really started to happen, especially like with my family. When I said, oh, no, you're not going to talk to me like that. Or no, I'm no longer the ATM or the go-to person. I think that's what's shifted and changed.
Yeah.
So Love Revealed.
So Love Revealed, yeah.
Is there a certain, who did you write that for? Is there a certain community, or what brought about Love Revealed?
That's actually for everyone. And when I say that, because a lot of people, many people are wondering what love is. They think they know it, even if, especially when they come out of a relationship. I thought this person loved me.
Yeah.
And that may be the easiest example that I can give, like, because a lot of us, we do have personal, intimate relationships, when you talk about romantic relationships. But love is a lot deeper than just that. It's because Love Revealed is not just dealing with a romantic relationship, it's dealing with love. It's dealing with love in general. So,
because you already said you gotta love yourself. Know what? No, you got that self-love come first.
Right, God is love, but
you gotta know what they look like.
You gotta know what
See,
they
I'm
look
taking
like.
notes.
Right, you gotta know what that look like. I wish I would have bought the book because I wanted to give you guys a complimentary book.
Please bring
it on record.
Please, y'all heard her, and I'm gonna read it, and I'm gonna post about it because y'all know I post, and I post about it because I'm on this journey of self-love, loving others, and my problem is I be trying not to reciprocate that energy.
Right. It's sometimes hard, though.
It's hard.
It's hard to not reciprocate that negative energy because we're human. We got that in us, but we have to be intentional about the things that we do.
Yes.
And so the best example, one of the main examples, like when you see the cover of the book, you see on the cover of the book, it doesn't have a heart, but it has a cross. And one of the ways that love was revealed and is revealed is what God did for us. It was revealed when Jesus shed his blood on the cross. He sacrificed his only son that was begotten, which means the son that was born through a woman. So, you follow me? So the son that was born through a woman is Jesus Christ, which is God in the flesh. But he had to come in to be an example. He walked the earth. And so after he walked the earth, so even Jesus asked if this cup can be removed when he was praying at Gethsemane, please let it be removed. But then at the end, he said, let your will be done.
Let your will be done.
And he suffered. He didn't just, what I visualized what it was, he died upon the cross. I did know that his hands were nailed, but I didn't know how much he was also tortured and how he was on the cross naked, humiliated. He asked for water, they gave him vinegar. He suffered so much in all the good things and all the people that he healed, and he still suffered. And God allowed this to happen so that we can be redeemed for all our sins, both past and present and future. And we didn't even deserve it at all.
Ooh,
at all.
Yeah.
And so that's the basic premise of the book, Love Revealed. And that's where the cover came from. It came from I believe it came from the Heavenly Father. I believe that book was given to me. And that was like one of the hardest books because my understanding of love was I had to empty out what I thought love was. Okay. Love to me was loyalty, but I had loyalty to humans.
Okay.
But love is loyalty to God. It is obedience to God. You can't say you love God and then be disobedient. It's an action word.
So that's where so you healed through this healing of writing book too.
Yes.
Is there a 3 you think that's going to be poured into your spirit to write?
This is the third one.
No, I'm saying the third series because it seems like they go together.
So it's 3 books. It's Healing to
And that'll be number 4 then.
That'll be number 4.
And then we have
the first children. Makiba's Faith. So Makiba's Faith came while I was writing the Faith Walk book.
You were writing 2 books at once?
I'm going to tell you what happened. That's the grace that God has given me. That's not anything from me. I'm not taking the credit because it wasn't really on my mind to write a children's book at the time.
And
I wrote this in 10 minutes sitting in my bed.
Really?
10 minutes.
It was put on your heart.
It dropped on me. And it was like scribble scrabble on a notebook pad. And I left it in a notebook pad paper for about a year. Did I leave for a year? because this came out later. This took a while to process because I had to get the cover and all that. So this, I scrabbled, but this was I wrote this in the process of me writing this. So I don't think I had started the printing and the covering
for Faith.
For Faith Walk.
Okay.
So that was being processed. So I was, you know how you have to write it, edit, throw it out, write it, edit.
Throw it out.
I had multiple manuscripts, but I wrote this in the process of writing that one. It hadn't come out yet, but this one came out first, and then Makiba's Faith came out second.
So where did the name Makiba come from?
So Makiba, I had the story wrong, but my mom told me that I had the story wrong. So, Makiba was going to be my name.
Oh.
When I was my dad and her. This is the story I had, so we're gonna go with this story. Okay,
we're gonna keep it.
We're gonna keep this story, but it's a different story. But Makiba was gonna be my name. My mom, I think, wanted to name me Makiba. And my dad wanted to name me LaShawn because they wanted a boy. He wanted a boy. LaShawn is a boy name, by the way. But now, you know, you got girls.
You got girls.
Yeah. So they agreed upon LaShawn. But Makiba, Mama wanted to name Makiba because my family was really into civil rights, human rights. Mm-hmm. Makiba, I can't think of her last name, but she was African activist. She was a singer and jazz actress. She was a jazz artist, an actress, and she was an advocate against apartheid. So they were kind of like human rights people. They was very educated. My dad was really well read.
Okay.
Spoke several different languages. He was an electrician though, and he was just really smart. So they was really into civil rights and all that. And so she wanted to name me after her. And
your dad said LaShawn.
LaShawn, but LaShawn means God is gracious.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think my name has a meaning.
I just found out my meaning. I just found out that my mom didn't know what me. I just found out the meaning to my name.
Yeah, right. I don't think my name has a meaning. I can't even find my name on a Coke bottle.
Say your name again.
My government name?
Yeah.
My stage name.
Oh, you can tell me off camera.
My stage name is Trina B. No, everybody knows my real name is Trina.
Trina?
Yep, Trina.
Maybe Trina has
a meaning. We're going to look that up. We're going to look that up.
After we finish this segment.
We're going to look that up.
Yeah, so I'm kind of glad because I didn't really know because your name has a lot.
Yes.
It's powerful.
Yes.
Because my middle name means Alexandria, means defender of humankind.
Do you feel like you
yes.
That's in you?
I always fight for people who were being pushed. I wouldn't fight for myself. That was how I was, but I would fight for other people. And so I find that I would do that more, like even growing up. Like I had a compassion, an empathy, and a passion.
So it was always in you.
It was always in me. I was born that way. I was born a fighter. My mom said, she was different, you know, because I was walking at 6 months, and she said, this child been here before. Like, this child's different. This child's different. So I've always been a fighter. You know, I have what you call it? It says, what is it? Sweet as a dove. And you know it, Trina,
I know what you're talking
Trina
about.
B.
Yes, you know.
So you come across, you know, real sweet, but you know, but you're a fighter.
Yes. So I'm gonna find out what my name means. We're
gonna find out today.
Yes, because I never looked into it. I've always had a disdain for my last name, but I liked it because it began with a B.
Okay.
Because whenever we were lining up,
okay, unless
it was Alexander or Allen or something like that, I was first in line.
Okay.
I wanted it. And I wanted to be first in line. Okay. So that I learned as I got older the meaning of names and why Black people names are very creative. I've learned the history behind it, and once you learn the history behind it, like when you see people name their kids like D'Angelo, but Rakisha is kind of, they don't know where it's coming from, but you know where it's coming from. Because I'm a former educator. I taught school.
Okay. I could see that.
Those names told me up.
I was an educator too. But I did it in college. But still, you had to learn how to pronounce people's names, and I hate to mess up people's names.
I hate messing up people's names. So like that first year or two, I used to get them nicknames. Like I had ATL, I had Shouty Doo Wop. I had one called Cornflake. Like
I can't deal with you.
All my kids had nicknames. They know who they are. There, I had Lil Buddy, and I still, my first graduated in 5th grade class, I still keep in contact with quite a few of them.
Okay, cool.
I try to follow their journey, and they're running to me. Like one of them ran into me in Circle K, Greg, and he was like, "Oh, you used to be on my head," and I said, "Yup." How you turn out? He was like, "Man, I wish I had stuck with." He said, "But you remember that song you taught us to learn the protons and neutrons?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, that's how I passed that test." I was like, "Oh,
wow.
I'm glad I had an impact on you heathens." But those were my babies. I did enjoy being an educator.
Okay.
I just didn't like the politicking of it.
Yeah. I think that's the hardest part about teaching, the politics.
Yeah, and I'm an advocate for reading. And like some of the books, I didn't realize so many books had been banned that we can't read. So we need Makiba's faith.
Yeah.
If they let us, because it's a separation of church and state.
Yeah.
Yet
that's that's another conversation.
Yeah. Yet we still say the Pledge of Allegiance in there. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, and then we got 4 maybe poured into your spirit. Number 4.
Probably so. We'll see. We'll see where he leads me on that one.
So is writing an outlet for you, or is it something that once it's placed on, you wait for it to be placed on you, or do you journal?
I journal, but when it's placed on me and I'm given an assignment to do it, and when I say assignment, I just obey whichever direction the Holy Spirit tell me, whichever direction God wants me to go into. Because I'm going to tell you, writing the first one, second, and the third nonfiction, all 3 were really hard.
Did it change you any? Yeah,
most definitely. Because I was learning as I was writing. Because if these are faith-based books, so I had to read more. And I had to examine myself and why I'm saying certain things, why I say it that way. Why did I say it this way or that way? I encourage you to read Faith Walk. A lot of people, I had a lot of reviews, but I went in and I did some edits, so my reviews were taken down. But I got a couple of new reviews, so please review that when you read Faith Walk.
So I would love to. What I find sometimes is, and this, please don't charge it to my mind, not my heart. Okay. Sometimes when I'm reading books like written by people who have doctor in front of their name, they like to write like over it. Yeah. Now Dr. Tanja Murphy, she writes some really good Tanja Murphy, yes, she writes some really good books. She's a local author.
Okay, I think I heard of her.
Yes, great, phenomenal person in general. Yeah. In general, she writes some really good books, and I've read a couple of hers, and I like how it flows and it's relatable. Yeah. Sometimes I done read some, and I be like, okay, T.I. I don't know that word in the right context, but okay, we gonna try it.
Well, do you understand what I'm, in the conversation that we're having now? Is it hard for you to understand what I'm talking to? That's how I write.
Yeah, no. Okay. I actually have enjoyed our conversation because I was like, "Ooh, this gonna be real churchy."
Yeah.
I'm gonna say a curse. I said I'm a cuss one time. She gonna get up.
I can't deal. I was wondering. I was like, I figured that's what I said. Maybe you would be thinking that, because you say faith based.
Yes, because I tell people
like religious, like super religious.
Yeah, and I'm not, because I got a grandmother who is. My parents have become super religious now, and I'm like, where were y'all at when I was a kid? Y'all was knocking me out. Like they are very, very. Well, God, like I'll say something, and my dad'll look. He'll be like, God's just not gonna be pleased with that. I was like, man, I talked to Jesus this morning. He said, shut up. Like, my family. That's why that's one of the black sheep. Cause I be like, when people tell me, this lady, when I was going to church, she said that God told her that this dude that was in church that was annoying. He was like super annoying. She was like, yeah, God told me that's gonna be your husband. I said, well, he got my phone number. He ain't told me like that.
And God didn't tell you either, so she lying.
I was like,
like, stop.
Let me stop. When people come to me and be like, God told me to tell you. I was like, no. He got to
tell you first.
I got to tell you first. He got to tell me this. He didn't tell me that. Yeah. Like, he didn't tell me yo broke nephew who just got out of jail doing 10 years is gonna be my husband. I know you lying, cause God wouldn't have told you that.
Cause he didn't tell you.
He ain't told me that. He ain't told me that. So
they love to do that. So I'm really careful about, you notice how I use my language.
Yes.
And I'm not going to tell somebody that God told me anything. Because usually when you have a confirmation or you have a quote-unquote, people like to get words from people as opposed to going to
the source.
The source, which is, you can check the source with the Bible. Is this what his word is saying? Because you got other voices, too, that can be talking to you. You got demons that can be talking to you. And, you got your flesh, yourself, your own thoughts from your own experiences, and then you have the Holy Spirit. You got three voices. So which voice are you listening?
And you got to learn how to draw discernment.
That's right.
Which one is who?
Which one is who? So
which one is who?
You my wife. No,
I
didn't hear that.
No, God did not send me a booger wolf. No.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
My friends be like, "No, Trina." I'm like, "Fix it, Jesus."
You're my
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
And they say, "Well, I'm just gonna pray for you," and I be like, "Them prayers ain't gonna get no higher than the ceiling."
Right, and everybody can't pray for you. You can't come into agreement with everybody.
Yes, yeah. I'm very big on that, and the word. I'm learning more and more how words have power.
Yeah.
Like, and how when people say, "Oh, I'm broke," I just say, "I ain't financially in this budget right now." But
you're actually wealthy, but you just not.
I ain't.
You just ain't. You ain't.
My bank account ain't told.
It ain't reflecting.
It ain't reflecting.
What you really
in
are.
My mind, I got money like El Chapo, but my bank account, I got my money for Chipotle. Like, it's a difference.
It's there.
I'm learning
because if the more you understand who you are, and this is what I'm growing in now.
Okay.
And that's what that final book of the Journey to Self-Discovery, Faith Walk is about. I'm understanding that I always had this in my head, even when I was just doing everything, just in the club and all this stuff. I always knew that God was my provider. So there were certain things that I would not do still at that time. I'm not saying that I was better than anybody else, but, when I would have indecent proposals when I was young and, just come to me and say, "I pay your rent if you do this, and you got to worry about all this." And I'm like, no. So I was like the type, I worked 3 jobs before I compromised myself to that. I knew that much. And God was always my provider. I didn't go hungry, as a single mom. I had the support that I needed. And people couldn't believe that I was able to be at a certain place or accomplish what I had, or financially be in a stable place and be a single mom. Like, what? That's God.
That's not supposed to happen.
That's not me, but that wasn't me. I can't take the credit. If I take the credit, that ain't right. I can't take the credit. I have to say, and I will keep alluding to and saying that it was God. It was only by His grace and mercy, because I was cut up.
Okay,
I'm just saying.
So I would love to have you back. If you would come back, I would love to have you back. So as we wrap up, I always wrap with one last question for you to kind of briefly close out. If you were to name this season in your life a book, what would it be called? What would the title be?
Oh, wow. Promise Fulfilled.
Okay. I that. I like that. So tell the people how to find you.
Okay, you can find me on Instagram. I'm Alex Young, ALEX Young, YOUNG, PhD. I'm on YouTube, same Alex Young, PhD. Also, I'm on TikTok, same Alex Young, PhD.
Oh, she on TikTok.
Yes, I am.
And I need y'all to buy these books.
And also, my website is dralexyoung.com.
Okay.
You can get all my resources there.
Yes, and buy these books because I'm gonna read them. And you know, I will say it was too much for me, or this made me feel some type of way. Now I gotta go lay on my therapist's couch, messing with the doctor. But thank y'all. We'll be back. I promise we're gonna be more consistent. But thank y'all for showing up and showing out as you always do. We'd love to have you back again.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
You for allowing me to come.
And shout out to Kwame. Shout out to Kwame, the classic carpenter. Shout out to my friend. Y'all make sure y'all follow him. He got some amazing things coming up, and I want y'all to be a part of it. As always, I'm Still Trina B.